Hello, welcome to session 6 on filter circuits. A filter circuit is an essential component in a voltage regulator. What is a voltage regulator? Here you can see in this block diagram, you have got an AC input which goes through a rectifier and we will be getting a DC output. But this DC is a fluctuating DC. So that is what we want to change. This DC output, which is changing with respect to time, should be converted into what you can see on the rightmost graph, unfluctuating DC. So in order to do that, we make use of filter circuits. As you can see in this rectangular box, there are different types of filter circuits. So the output from the bridge rectifier is taken through the filter circuit, so that ultimately we'll be getting unfluctuating DC. So this makes the voltage regulator output. So we'll start with the shunt capacitor filter. Here you can see the output from the full center tap full wave rectifier is given to the shunt capacitor filter. So the two diodes that you can see are part of the rectifying circuit, and the output of the rectifying circuit will be taken across the load resistance RL. But across the load resistance we have connected the capacitor CL, which actually acts as the filter capacitor. So since it is connected parallel to the load resistance, the circuit is referred to as a shunt capacitor filter. In order to understand how a shunt capacitor filter filters the AC from its inputs, you can go through this equation for capacitive reactance. Capacitive reactance is defined as 1 by omega C, where omega is the angular frequency, which is given as 2 pi times the frequency F. So the resistance, capacitive reactance, is actually the resistance offered to the flow of current by the capacitor. In this diagram, I am trying to explain the working of a shunt capacitor filter. You can see two graphs. The upper one is the output of the half wave rectifier, which is shown in dotted lines, and the output of the half wave rectifier when it is coming after the filter circuit is shown in blue line, and the bottom is that of the full wave rectifier. So here what happens is that if you examine the first diagram, you can see the output of the rectifier keeps on increasing. It reaches a peak value, then it decreases, then again it increases, and it goes on like that. And correspondingly, actually we have connected the output of the rectifier to the capacitor. So when the voltage is increasing, then what happens is that the capacitor will undergo the charging process. So that charging and discharging of the capacitor is actually what results in the filtering action. So when the voltage is increasing, the capacitor is charging, and that charging process is fast, and you can see that will result in the voltage getting developed across the two plates of the capacitor, and that is what we are measuring as the output of the filter circuit. It is shown in blue color, and you can see that when the rectifier output is increasing and reaches a peak value, the capacitor will be charged to the maximum possible potential, and thereafter the voltage of the rectifier output will decrease, and correspondingly the capacitor will undergo discharging. But discharging is a slow process compared to the charging. So therefore what happens is that even though the rectified output decreases quickly, the voltage across the capacitor will be decreasing slowly, and then it goes on like that. The capacitor voltage will not reach zero value, because before that the next wave of the rectifier will be coming, which will result in an increasing voltage. So it will again charge the capacitor and its voltage will increase. So that means on the whole, the output of the rectified circuit with filter will be the blue line, which is shown in this diagram, in which case the difference between the maximum and minimum value of the voltage is very less compared to the situation of no capacitor connected across the output. So that means the fluctuation has been reduced considerably. And in the bottom diagram you can see that the fluctuation will be even more reduced, because the peaks are, I mean the waves are coming in quick succession, which will prevent the capacitor voltage to decrease to a larger extent. So correspondingly the ripple will be very low in the case of a full wave rectifier with filter. Another important element that we use for filtering AC is an inductor. When you are using the inductor as a filtering element, you will have to connect it in series. Therefore, it is referred to as a series inductor filter. Here you can see the output of the full wave rectifier is connected through a series combination of an inductor and a load resistance. So that will act as a series inductor filter. In order to explain how the working of this series inductor filter, we will have to identify, for example, let us focus on this diagram. We have got an inductor which is represented using the symbol L, which is connected in series with the load resistance RL. So as before, we will see what is the inductive reactance. You know the inductive reactance chi L is equal to omega L, which is 2 pi FL, where F is the frequency. Now we will examine this diagram. We have got the output from a full wave rectifier which is fluctuating, and it is flowing through the inductor circuit. So the inductor behaves always, it will be generating a current which is the induced current, which will oppose any change in currents through it. So whenever the current or voltage is increasing, it will develop a current or voltage which we call the induced voltage or induced current, opposite to the change in the current. So when a current is when the voltage is increasing from which is the output of the rectifier circuit, when the output of the rectifier circuit is increasing, the induced voltage will be decreasing. So you can see that as a small fluctuation which is marked in the graph below. You have got the, first of all, the large peaks are the output of the full wave rectifier. Then you have got a small fluctuation which is centered at the total line at VL. You can see when the output of the rectifier is increasing, the induced EMF is decreasing. So it goes on like that, and therefore the net output that we are going to get will be having lower fluctuations. So you can see the two outputs which are marked in this diagram. One is without the filter and the other one is with the filter. So this is how the series inductor filter works. There is one more point that we will have to add when we explain the working of shunt capacitor filter or series inductor filter. So in the case of series inductor filter, I have shown you that the reactance, inductive reactance is 2 pi FL, whereas in the case of capacitors, the capacitive reactance is 1 by 2 pi FL. So in terms of the F, which is the frequency, we can explain what will happen to the DC and AC component when it encounters an inductor or a capacitor. So let us first consider the inductor. So at this point, that the input to the filter circuit, this input is actually the output from the rectifier. So output from the rectifier is a combination of both AC and DC. So at this point, you have got a combination of AC and DC which is trying to flow through the inductor circuit. And AC has got a definite frequency. In our case, it is normally 50 Hertz, whereas DC has no frequency, so its frequency is zero. Frequency is the DC is zero. So at this point we will have to see what is the amount of resistance experienced by AC component and DC component when it tries to flow through L. So the inductive reactance is 2 pi FL. So F is 0 for DC, whereas F is a finite value for AC. So obviously the resistance experienced by AC will be much higher than the resistance experienced by DC. So what happens is that DC will pass through the inductor without any problem, whereas AC will experience resistance and it will be dissipated at this inductor. So beyond the inductor, what we are going to have is DC and very negligible amount of AC. So similar thing is happening when you examine the resistance experienced by the AC and DC when it tries to flow through the capacitor. What we can see is the capacitive reactance is 1 by Fc. So F is 0 for the case of DC, whereas F is finite for AC, as I told you before. So when you take 1 by 2 by Fc, since F is 0, DC will be experiencing infinite resistance, whereas AC will be experiencing only a small resistance. So what is happening is that DC cannot flow through the capacitor, whereas AC will flow through the capacitor and it will be bypassed. So beyond the capacitor, what we are going to have is DC alone, which failed to flow through the capacitor. So ultimately what we are going to have is DC will be coming at the output. So depending on the amount of AC that we have from the rectifier, we can use any number of the filtering elements. You can use a combination of inductor and a capacitor. So the first one in this slide shows a capacitor and an inductor. So the only thing that you'll have to remember is that whenever you are using a capacitor, it should be connected parallel to the load resistance, whereas or the source, whereas you have to connect inductor in series with the source. So the first one, you have inductor in series and capacitor parallel. So it is in the shape of L. It is referred to as an L filter, or it is, since it contains L and C, it is referred to as LC filter. Whereas you can use two capacitor and one inductor, and in that case also you'll have to connect the two capacitors parallel and the inductor should be in series. One example is shown here and it forms the shape of pi, therefore it is referred to as a pi filter. Now I have given some equations also. When you have got filter in the output, filters connected to the output of a rectifier, your ripple factor will be different. So the ripple factor can be redefined in these ways. You just go through these equations, all the equations for the new ripple factor is given here for the inductor filter, for LC filter, and for CLC, which is pi filter, and also for the shunt capacitor filter is given in this diagram, in this slide. So that's all.